Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here with 3 Buck Theater. So right now, news is breaking that Chloe Zhao is supposedly going to be taking on the Star Wars movie that Kevin Feige is producing. And I talked about this yesterday when the news broke that Rogue Squadron is actually being pushed further back, delayed indefinitely. And I had made mention that it's possible that what would be replacing it would be the Kevin Feige film or the Taika Waititi film or something along those lines. But either way, it was something that was going to be done in the orbit of Kevin Feige. And so what we're learning now is essentially that this is what's going to be happening, that following the success of the Eternals, that Chloe Zhao is going to be developing or going to be directing the movie that Kevin Feige is developing, with Michael Waldron doing the writing for. Waldron is the guy who was behind Loki, who wrote that. He also is writing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So him teaming up with Kevin Feige to tackle Star Wars is actually a really good thing in my mind. And I'm very interested to see exactly where everything goes as a result of this. The other piece of interesting news is that apparently with Rogue Squadron off the table, it won't be replaced maybe with the whole thing, the Chloe Zhao movie. I don't quite know. According to another report, and I don't even know how much of a corroboration there are between the two, but apparently the High Republic movie is what's going to be coming next, and that's actually going to be the one that's released in December of 2023. That actually makes the most amount of sense, and I'll explain why. So the reason why that one makes the most amount of sense is because that ties in to the rebranding effort, the global rebranding effort that Star Wars is going to have to undertake. So, okay, listen. In regards to like the Skywalker saga and wrapping up everything involving the sequel trilogy, it did leave a lot of people, like less happy with some of it. And it did. It had diminishing returns from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi to The Rise of Skywalker. There were diminishing returns in regards to box office performance. A big part of that had to do with the fact that China simply did not take to these movies. And the reason why is because they didn't grow up with Star Wars. They didn't grow up with the Jedi. They didn't grow up with the Rebellion. They didn't grow up with the Empire. They didn't grow up with Vader. They did not have this. This was not part of their wheelhouse. And so Disney's realizing that they need to find a way to get fans in China in order to see this whole thing blow up like it would have normally under any other franchise. Look, any other franchise would probably do better than Star Wars right now in China, and that's because there's actually something there worth, they have some kind of legacy there, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I haven't had any caffeine yet, so I'm still trying to wake up. But the thing to remember here, though, is that a couple of years ago it was announced that Lucasfilm and it was Lucasfilm. There we go. My phone's acting all weird. But it was there. Lucasfilm and Tencent Publishing had teamed up to put Star Wars books in China because there are over 419 million ebook readers every single month. They hired Chinese bloggers to write official Star Wars books specifically for China. And I said this back in 2019 when this news was announced, that this was what they're going to be going for. This was going to be their next step. Their next step was absolutely positively going to end up being the trying to push into the Middle Kingdom. And also the High Republic Publishing Initiative was also going to be a big push for China, because that's going to allow them to go 200 years into the past and then establish a new lore, which will then be able to see itself go all the way through to the Phantom Menace, which is then going to bring in, hopefully, the Chinese viewer base into the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy and then the sequel trilogy to give it some kind of massive resurgence. This is all part of the plan, you guys. This isn't even like some weird, crazy, over-the-top doomcock level speculation. This is business. You can follow the numbers. They've outright said this. They've outright put this information out there. It is not hard to find. This is what their plan is. Their plan is to do a big resurgence of Star Wars, to get it back theatrically to being the biggest of the big. Because, I mean, look, Marvel is the biggest of the big right now, but Star Wars should be up there. I'm sorry. Like, Star Wars should absolutely be up there. So there's that. The other thing to consider is that they want to also kind of make Star Wars great again. And it's doing really well on Disney Plus. That's where it's going to stay for quite some time, but theatrically it needs to kind of be rebooted. and this is where they're going to take it. So anyway, that's my take on what's going on. Curious to know what you guys have to say about this. Let me know down in the comment section. Of course, I'll be live tonight, Hollywood After Dark, talking more about this as news progresses throughout the day. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Thank you again, and definitely peace the hell out. See you guys.